So many people make trellising their tomatoes far more difficult than it needs to be. In today's video, I'm going to show you the quickest, easiest, most efficient way to trellis your tomatoes. Whether you grow 10 tomato plants or 10,000, the Florida weave is by far the easiest way to trellis up your tomatoes. Welcome back to Wishwell Farms, everyone. My name is Jason, and I've been using the Florida weave on my farm for the past 25 years, and today I'm going to demonstrate to you exactly how to use it. All right, to be able to use the Florida weave, there's only a few items that are needed. In our greenhouse, you can see we have steel T-posts. Out in our fields, we use wooden stakes about 4 to 5 feet tall. It doesn't matter what kind of stake you use, it just needs something that you can pound into the ground about every 5 to 6 feet down the row of your tomato plants. In our fields, we have 5 feet between our stakes. In here, it's more like 6 to 6.5 feet. Our plants are planted a lot denser in here because it is such a high value crop, and we want to pack in as many tomatoes in this small space as we can. In our field, we have 2 tomato plants between each stake. In here, it looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. About 6 or 7 between each steel T-post. The only other item you will need is some form of string or twine. We use these boxes of tomato twine just for trellising up your tomatoes, but any kind of string or twine will work. This one in particular has a place to run your belt through or some sort of strap. So I'm going to strap this one around my waist and get ready to go. It can be helpful to have a pair of scissors if you're using some sort of thicker string or twine. This tomato twine is so thin that I can just rub it on the steel T-post for cutting, so I don't even need a pair of scissors. Now, the main purpose of any trellising system is to hold your tomato plants in an upright position. There's a lot of different reasons why that's important. I think the main one is to keep your fruit off the ground. It's nice to have clean fruit that's not laying on the ground, getting rained on and possibly splitting or cracking or getting insects on them. So when the plants are held upright, the fruit will be up off the ground, and that makes it much easier to harvest as well, which is another benefit. So we want to run our very first stringing about 2/3 the way up the top of your plant. If you're too low, your plant's still just going to flop right over. And if you start too high, like all the way up here, you're going to be above the tops of your tomato plants, and it's not going to serve its purpose, and the plants are not going to be captured by the string. So when I put this first stringing on that you can see here, these plants were only about 6 inches above the string, but they've grown about 1 foot to 1.5 feet in the last week since I ran this string. So today we're going to start about right here. I like to wrap it around the post twice and just tie a double knot, and this is where we will begin running our first string. I am right-handed, and that means I'm going to go counterclockwise to be able to do the Florida weave properly. So I'm going to be going down this first row on the right side, turning around and coming back on the left side. And that is going to sandwich the tomatoes between the 2 strings. We like to run a string about every 8 to 10 inches. These plants will top out at about 7 feet tall. So we're going to be putting a new string about every 10 inches all the way up to the top of these steel T-posts. Now, these T-posts aren't even quite 6 feet tall. I'm 6 foot, so they're probably about 5'9", 5'10", somewhere around there. The plants are going to outgrow these T-posts. So we have these PVC extensions, and we slide them on top, set them right there, and that allows us to do 2 or 3 more stringings on up to the very top of this PVC pipe extension, which is about where the grape tomatoes are going to top out in here. These are a determinate variety, so they typically will stop growing around 6 to 7 feet. Now, if we were growing indeterminate plants, we probably wouldn't be using the Florida weave. Many of our other greenhouses have indeterminate plants, and they have a cable trellising system above them, and we drop strings down for those to clip the plants to the strings. It's a whole different method. I'll throw a little footage of that up right now just so you can see what I'm talking about. You can see we have overhead cables with spools of string or tomato hooks hanging from them. We drop the strings down to the plant level and begin clipping the plant to the string, and we add a new clip about every week, about each foot up the string as the plant continues to grow. And once it reaches these tomato hooks, we have to unwind them and drop the plants and lean them. It's called the lower and lean method. But today, we're not going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about the Florida weave. So let's get started. So I got my first string tied on here, ready to go. I'm going to pull it to the next T-post, and it looks like I'm about 10 inches above the prior string. I'm holding it with my right hand. Now I'm going to use my free left hand to reach around the post, the back side of the post, and grab that string. That frees up my right hand. And I'm always watching that I don't release the tension on this string. I want that super tight and taut. A straight line from post to post, and I don't want my plants to ever dictate where my string is going. If the plants happen to be really bushy and pushing on the string, I still want to try to have a straight line from post to post. Now with my free hand, I'm going to grab this slack. Well, let me move this pipe off of here. We don't need that yet. So with my free hand, I'm going to lift the string up and over the plant. And now I have a wrap around the T-post. And I'm ready to continue on to the next one. A straight line to the T-post. Use my left hand to grab the string from behind, keeping it tight. Frees up my right hand to grab this slack, to lift it up and over the post to complete the wrap. Ready to go on to the next one. I apologize for all the creaking and cracking that you may hear up in the greenhouse frame. It is super, super windy today. So it's like kind of moving the frame around, and it creaks and cracks in here. So if you're wondering what that noise was, that's what it is. All right, I'm gonna bring my string up here to the next T-post. I got one in the way here. I'm gonna move it over about 8 to 10 inches above the prior string. Here's my left hand. Reach behind the post, grab it, keeping that tension. Use my free hand. The string got tangled up in a leaf there. Using my free hand, taking the slack up and over the post and completing the wrap. Very simple. On to the next post. All right, I'm going to complete the rest of this row, and I'll show you how quickly I can move down this row. And then when I get to the end, I'll show you what we do when we turn around. All right, I'm here at the end, and when I get to the end T-post, all I gotta do is just walk around it and keep right on going. Now you can tie it off here and start a new string if you like, or wrap it around a few times, however you want to do it. But we just turn right around and keep right on going. Another thing I think is important is to make sure your strings are wrapped all at the same location, not like this. Sometimes when you start going fast, you have a tendency to wrap it like that, and you have this little gap here. Then your strings will not be directly across from each other, parallel to each other, and the plant is going to tend to want to flop towards the lower string. So just a little tip, doing it just like this works great. As I go, if plants are falling way over, I'm always sure to pull them back up, make sure I'm underneath them completely. Always making sure that string's nice and tight. As you can see, my tomato plants are sandwiched between these two strings, one on both sides now holding it up. Now sometimes your very first stringing is going to be very low to the ground, and you're going to be down in this stooped position. In that case, it might be good to have a piece of pipe or a stick with a hole on one end to run your string through, and it acts like an extension of your arm. I'll throw a little piece of footage up right now so you can see what I'm talking about. That way you don't have to bend way over or even squat down or be on your hands and knees. You can still stand up about like in this position, and that tool acts as an extension of your arm. It just makes it really easy and convenient for running that first string when your plants are really small. Here's my pro tip for the day. You do not need to weave your string in and out around your plants like a figure eight. It is a total waste of time in my opinion. One string down one side, wrap around every post on the way, and down the other side. But you might be thinking to yourself, Jason, aren't your plants just gonna slide back and forth within the string and fall over? And I would say, when they're really young, yes, they may slide a little bit, but once they get big and bushy, they're gonna be fixed into place. And even if they do slide a little bit, all you gotta do is, you know, just adjust them a little bit and they'll stay right where you want them. Once these plants are 4 or 5 feet tall and just way bushier or full of fruit, and you have 3 or 4 or 5 strings on there, they're not gonna move. They're gonna be kind of locked into position. So don't waste your time doing the figure 8, weaving in and out of all your plants. We've tried it that way before, and I've seen others do it that way. And a lot of times it even takes 2 people, and it just slows you down so much and is so much more tedious that it takes away all the benefits of how quick and easy the floor to weave is supposed to be. All right, the row on the left is completely done. The row on the right has not been done. Can you see the difference? These are all nice and upright and orderly, and these are all drooping over, flopping over, left and right, and getting out of control. So this is what it will look like when it's finished, and this is what it looked like before we started. Now, I realize that most of you would not be implementing the floor to weave in a greenhouse. Most of you are probably wanting to know how to do this in your garden. Whether you're growing in a greenhouse, a field, or a garden, whether it's in the soil or hydroponically in grow bags like this, it makes no difference. The floor to weave works exactly the same. I'm gonna throw some footage up right now of me stringing last year's field tomatoes when we did our very first stringing. You can see how low to the ground these plants are. They're probably only about 14 inches tall, and the first stringing was probably 9 or 10 inches off the ground. So we had to do a lot of bending over. This would have been a good time to use that extension tool. Like I said earlier, whether you're growing just a handful of plants or thousands, the floor to weave is a great trellising method. All right, I'm coming back on the other side of row 2, and I'm just gonna go at normal speed so you can see how quick and efficient this method is. You know, out in our fields, we're using this on about 1,000 plants. Now this section right here slowed me down a little bit because a lot of them are falling over. They're getting too tall. I should have been out here a couple days ago. But like I said, out in our fields, we're doing this on 1,000 plants, and you know, it takes us less than an hour. This is what all commercial tomato growers around the world use to trellis up their tomato plants. So these farms down in Florida or out in California, for example, they have thousands, at least hundreds of acres, if not thousands of acres of tomatoes. They're using the floor to weave. Maybe not on processing tomatoes. A lot of those are just grown right on the ground and machines harvest them. But any tomatoes that are hand-picked and sold at grocery stores for slicing tomatoes, red round tomatoes, they are trellised up with the floor to weave. And just like that, back to the end of the row, I'm gonna cut it, wrap it around again, tie a double knot, and done. Easy peasy. All right, making my final run down this outside edge, and I'll have this greenhouse completely strung up. I know it's only 3 rows. There's only 250 plants in here, if you were wondering. The other half of the greenhouse will not be going into grape tomatoes. It will be regular red round beefsteak style tomatoes. So we just grow these 3 rows of grape tomatoes, and we typically harvest between 3,500 and 4,000 pints of grape tomatoes. And they are all sold direct to consumer at numerous farmers markets around Columbus, Ohio at $7 a pint. So a very profitable 3 rows in this little greenhouse. And just like that, 10 minutes later, these 250 grape tomato plants are trellised and good to go for another week. Hopefully you found this video helpful and informative, and if you are interested in more educational gardening type videos like this one, or just want to follow our farming journey during 2026, please consider subscribing so you don't miss a single episode. That's a wrap on this one, folks. Thank you so much for watching, and if you found value in the content, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you all again next time down on the farm.